Hey everybody, Mazer here, and today we're doing something a little different. This is going to be unscripted, so I apologize if I ramble. It's basically me discussing really fast the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It just dropped, and let's take a quick look at what he looks like. Bing! Yeah, this is Sonic apparently. So I just wanted to give some quick thoughts. Visually, and the way the movie is being portrayed, it seems like a 90s script where you have the cartoon character entering the real world, done with a early 2000s aesthetic, whereas forget what he looks like in the game. We want to make him look completely different, but kind of the same, but still very different. And but released today. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it was released today. The sheer animation and graphics on Sonic just stands out so much. It's bloody amazing that they could have. I mean, this is the era where we're getting Detective Pikachu, and Detective Pikachu looks so damn good. And then we get this. um, I mean, it doesn't look bad in this image, but if we bring up the image of him, he stands out so badly. Look at that. Weird. And you know what? That scene actually bothers me. And this is something that happens in the cartoon, the old Sat AM cartoon that I'm a huge fan of, is Sonic's speed keeps getting really inconsistent. Sometimes he's just fast enough to avoid everything, and then other times he's so fast that time around him seems to slow down and stop, kind of like the Flash and all that. Which, especially with this missile scene, while it looked really interesting, um, what's the threat? If he's this fast, there's going to be no tension. And showing that in the trailer, you're like, oh, so he's so super fast that I don't know. Maybe he got a ring. Maybe he got a ring. All right. His design, the very long legs and the very long arms, it, it looks like a kid in a costume. I'll be completely honest. It's a shame. I mean, I know he has long arms and legs in the newer cartoons, but his whole body's more proportionate with how his cartoony look was, and this just seems really humanized. And he has human teeth. That's really weird. They don't throw human teeth on Pikachu, even though he speaks English or anything. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It's visually, it looks a little off, and the story, it looks like he somehow ended up in our reality. So he's from his reality, comes to our reality. Then you bring in the military. Then you have the good guy cop coming in, and the good guy cop, and it looks like he gets a partner or something, and they try to figure out a way to save Sonic while Sonic saves us. It's very Transformers. And I hate saying that because everyone compares everything to Transformers these days, and I'm sorry, but it looks like they're wanting to give us human stories, human characters, with Sonic just thrown into the mix. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, how can you do a movie or where the source material is running to the right, collecting coins, and stopping an evil doctor? Well, it's very simple. They did that. They did that in the 90s. It was called Sonic AM, or and it was wonderful. It was an amazing anime cartoon, whatever you want to call it. It was a great cartoon. It had environmental messages. It had a great cast of characters. You only had two humans, and that was Robotnik and Snively, and it was wonderful. It was dark. It was menacing. Robotnik was a serious threat. Sonic, had character development. He was always this arrogant, cocky little bastard, but then he grows up to be more responsible, and he takes care of everybody around him. You had Tails, but this crossover into the real world seems, like I said, it reminds me of what was it, Space Jam or Looney Tunes back in action, which I guess they weren't bad movies, but they didn't capture the spirit of another crossover that I love was Roger Rabbit. All right, that made more sense, and that was done with so much love and passion. But this is so. But the one thing I am interested in more than anything else is the return of one of my favorite comedians of all time, Jim Carrey, who is playing Dr. Robotnik. And what we saw in the trailer is a very 90s Jim Carrey. Very fast talking, very expressive in the face, very arrogant. It's almost a Ace Ventura meets The Mask type of character. A little bit of the Riddler from the Batman Forever. And you know what? I'm okay with this because I miss old Jim Carrey. I really do. I know he's gone through a lot of things in his personal life and he's done some more serious roles with TV and movies. And I support that, and I always think it's great when a comedian goes off to do other things. You know, Robin Williams did 1 Hour Photo, Insomnia, Death to Smoochie, and then you got Peel. He's doing horror movies now. So comedians should be able to get different roles. But seeing Jim Carrey returning to his form now, that is special. That makes me happy, and I like his version of Robotnik. Like I said, reminds me of this Riddler character from the old Batman things, where he's trying to outsmart this thing. And I love this part in the trailer right here. Let's blow this up so y'all can see it better. Where Sonic easily destroys Robotnik's tank. And you know what? I appreciate that Sonic destroys Robotnik's tank by spinning up and hitting it. Okay, very reminiscent of the video game. I appreciate that. It looked fun, and you're like, oh well, there goes Robotnik, and Jim Carrey's like, no, tap tap, and another machine pops out and continues the chase. I like that because it shows that this Robotnik, while very silly, is also very diabolical. He thinks ahead of things, and he can become a constant threat. So kudos to that. Really neat. The only downside is I am a huge, huge stickler for Robotnik being a legitimate villain and not a comedy villain. And by what I mean by that is, like I said, I grew up with Sonic Sat AM, and my Robotnik was this guy. All right. This guy was scary. He was frightening. He was evil. He was a murderer. He enslaved an entire planet and turned all the cuddly little animals into robots. And he was voiced by Jim Cummings, whose voice just makes me shiver. It makes me want to rub my chest because it's so good, And that is my ideal Robotnik. This is my ideal Robotnik right here. And anything other than this, I'm just like, I get that now he's more of a comedic character, and he was never really a serious threat in the video games. But this Robotnik was so cool, and I just want him back because he was roboticized himself. His arms and legs were robotic, and it was really cool because it added to his name. Now I don't know if they're going to go with Robotnik or Eggman. I hope it's Robotnik because that name was always so much cooler to me. But that's just me. I know people kind of disagree, but I always thought Robotnik was a much better name than Eggman. And what was really cool is, after the trailer, let's pull Jim Carrey back up. So after the trailer, this is what he looks like early on in the movie. But then they show, what Robotnik will look like. Yeah, so there's this after credits sequence where we see Jim as Robotnik right here. And that looks like Robotnik. I like it. He has the bald head, the crazy mustache. That's really cool. Unfortunately, the rumors are going around that this is at the end of the movie, setting up a sequel probably. And that's kind of a disappointment because this would be a cool thing to see when at the end of the movie, in the middle of the movie, where he keeps trying and trying and trying, something goes wrong, he ends up like this, and then his obsession becomes total 100% movie villain instead of some arrogant government lackey or something. And if you notice, you see the mushrooms, so it's obviously when he gets warped into another reality, probably Sonic's original reality. And I think it's sad and funny that they're trying to set up a sequel already. If the rumors that this is the end credits, if that's the case, this is setting up a sequel. And that's kind of sad because Look, we're all going to end up seeing this. Even I will see this, even though I'm giving a lot of criticism. And let me tell you why. This is a train wreck. This is a, like I said, 90s movie, 2003 style, today. It's a train wreck. But it's going to be a glorious train wreck. Like, this is going to be one of those movies that we see because we all know it's going to be bad, but now we have to find out how bad. And you know what? It actually might be enjoyable. I might not take itself seriously. And if that's the case, it could actually be wonderful. It could be one of those things like, you know what? You're not as close to the source material as I want you to be, but you did your own thing. You had fun with it, and we can enjoy that. You know what? You can do that. The Super Mario Brothers movie took a very simple concept, and they made it fun and big and imaginative. And I personally love the Super Mario Brothers movie. And this could go that route, hopefully. But either way, I think we're all going to get our money's worth because it's going to be one of those things where, like, we just had to see how this turned out. You know what I mean? So, is it good? I highly doubt it. Is it going to be as bad as Mortal Kombat Annihilation, for example, which is to me the worst video game adaptation I've ever seen was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I mean, that was. Now I haven't seen Legend of Chun-Li because some people say that's pretty bad too, but for me it's Annihilation. I highly doubt that that's going to be as bad as Annihilation. Will it be as good as, let's say, the original Mortal Kombat? Highly doubt it. But it might be fun. So, yeah, I just had to give my quick opinion about this. It was just something that's like, holy crap, this actually is happening. Let's just quickly discuss it. So, if you guys have any comments about the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, if you think this is going to be fun, if you think it's going to be a train wreck, if you think it's just going to be something completely balls to the wall insane, let us know in the comments and share your opinion on this, please. I like a dialogue, so please tell me what you guys think of the new Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. All right, I am Mazer, everybody, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.